Yeah.
I challenge you to do that, because what you're
Yeah.
going to find is there's a much longer list of things that you can control.
Sharing with real estate agents how to grill loan officers.
Setting expectations. There's maybe.
And we all know rate is important, right? Because that is a part of the calculation, but is that the only thing? So, ew. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Renowned Mortgage Podcast. I am Sean.
And I'm Justice.
And we are here to help you make some of the most profound decisions you are making with your home, with your finances. And we're just here to help in any way we can and educate in any way we can. And I guess, as we all know, this has been a pretty wild week in the world, a pretty wild week in the markets, and just a lot of things going on. And so, Justice, I wanted to talk to you about how do families make decisions when you've got so much uncertainty going on, and when you're talking about the largest transaction that the majority of us will ever make in our life when it comes to our home and our finances. And now all of a sudden you have things like oil and wars and rumors of wars. And so how do you help a family navigate those things?
Yeah, I would say that it is with tact, and it's with empathy and care. At the same time, I would say, like, looking at what's actually happened in the market, just maybe to speak to that a little bit more directly, is we have fears of inflation, and
Right.
there actually hasn't been anything inflationary yet, but the market's responding to the potential that we could have some inflationary problems. Oil drives a lot of different things in our economy, and the cost of oil, think about people that are producing certain things, if they're using oil to do that, or they need oil to get things from one place to the other, it drives the cost of everything up. And mortgage bonds, mortgage interest rates are going to trend based off of that. Typically, when you see and hear negative news,
Yep.
sounds of war, that
Yep.
typically is going to have mortgage rates are going to trend the right direction. In
Right.
this specific case, when you have Iran, who has 20% of the
Yeah.
oil on the
Yeah.
globe, or at least what's currently circulating, that obviously is a pretty noticeable impact. But like, we see a little bit of a tick up. I would say that advising clients in this process is just a little bit of education, a little bit of
Yeah.
perspective
Yeah.
to go, hey, let's take a little bit of a step back. Let's see where the market's actually at versus where it's been at for the last couple of weeks. Step back for, look at like the last month, look at the last 3 months. Like, if anything, we're probably trending in the right direction still,
Yeah.
just maybe a little bit of a hold up from the trajectory that we were on. And who knows, give it another week or so and we might be back on that same path.
Yeah. I mean, if you checked in with us last week, if you follow the Renowned Mortgage Podcast, you know that our topic was 599. This is amazing. This is where we are, and how long are we going to stay here? And then, the mortgage market said, hold my root beer, watch what I can do. It's one of those things that, again, because it's things we can't control. I think you spoke to it really well when we were talking earlier, something about a coach shared with you one time, kind of draw a line and what can you control and what you can't control.
Yeah, with the coach that you brought up, he had one coach back in the day asked me to draw a line down the middle of the paper and write on one side of the column things that I can control, and on the other side of the column things that I can't control. And it's funny, as you go through that process, and if anything, it could be financially, could be in your health, any area of your life that you're going, hey, I want to actually have
Yeah.
a new level of success.
Yeah.
I challenge you to do that, because what you're
Yeah.
going to find is there's a much longer list of things that you can control, and
Yeah.
a pretty
Yeah.
gosh darn short list of things that you can't control. And
Yeah.
when you have that perspective, go, hey, why don't I put my focus, my energy, my attention on the things that I actually can control and actually can influence? And you're going to find that you actually have a newfound clarity, and usually not making decisions as much from an emotional perspective.
Yeah, I would absolutely say one of the most important keys is, as you're navigating that and you're making your list of things you can and can't control, having someone who can advise you, having someone who's in your corner, having someone, like when we're talking about one of the largest financial decisions that someone will ever make, having someone get on the same side of the table with you, sit down and pencil that out with you and say, now, granted, here are the things you can't control, but is there still a decision that needs to be made in the middle of this process? How do we navigate the risk as much as, how do we mitigate potential risk? And that is getting informed. And so that's one of the things here at Renowned that we are about, is we're about client education. We're about getting on the same side of the table with you and navigating this journey forward. How important would you say that it is right now, especially when you have someone who's maybe being, if, for lack of a better word, maybe a little bit paralyzed by just the uncertainty? but still knows that deep down they probably need to step into the river on this one. How would you help someone navigate that?
I mean, some of it depending on the relational equity that I have with the client, which, I with clients that can vary a little bit, but I think some of it is just like challenging you to get off the fence
Yeah.
and, telling you like a friend, telling you like a
Yeah.
coach or a mentor and just go like,
Yeah.
hey, this is a good decision for you. Like
Yeah.
line it all up. And I think if you can go through that process and actually understand and understand that the only reason you're not taking action is because it's from an emotional perspective,
Yeah.
then I think valid, like
Yeah.
put a pin in it,
Yeah.
acknowledge that at the same time as realize that we likely don't want to make decisions from that place. The
Yeah.
best decisions in our life are not usually from the place of like, hey, I was scared, so I didn't do this, or
Right.
I was running, so I
Right.
decided that I
Right.
was going to go this direction. Usually those are the poorer decisions. And so like sometimes it takes a little bit of courage. Another coach once told me it takes courage to make money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
apply real estate to investing. It takes courage. And sometimes in the market where the emotions are high, like that's where the best opportunities are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, I will acknowledge it takes some courage to step into the market where like, hey, is there blood in the water? Is there fit? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on? Am I like,
Yeah.
it's a little turbulent out there, but if I make a decision now and I've got a good team behind me that's also backing me and going, hey, I can tell these people are for me.
Right.
They're not trying to just manipulate me into making a decision.
Right.
That I mean, I've had so many clients that have come back to me later on and going, hey, thank you for giving me the confidence that I
Yeah.
needed to make the decision.
Yeah. Is
And
there opportunity? And I think that's one of the things that you do really well. Just that the authenticity of saying, listen, that as much as you even want to do this, it's not, and even though, our company, it would be great if you did a loan with us or if we did this, but it's actually not the best decision. It's especially with your long-term plans, it's not the best decision. That's one of the things I think about being authentic and being genuine with our clients is, listen, we're here for your best interest, not just in the short-term play, but what's the long-term play as well. So, yeah, well said. It's a challenging time. We are going to get through it, as they say, this too shall pass. But if you have questions about what it is to navigate, even this, the right now, like how do we navigate this in the right now? We're here for you. Again, if you are loving this content, be sure to like, share, subscribe, get it to your friends. We're here every single week with a wonderful piece of information and hope for the mortgage industry. So for right now, I am Sean,
I'm Justice.
and we will see you next week.